Vishwa, it's an online platform for social champions, for change makers, everyday change makers that we see around us, who have put decades of work, of their lifetime, their earnings, into making a difference, to serve others, and to make our world into a better place.
Hello, everyone. Good morning and welcome to Vishwa Talks. My name is Trishant Shetty, and I thank you all for attending today's event. For those of you who have attended a Vishwa Talk before, a warm welcome back. And for those of you who are joining us for the first time, here's a little bit about us. Vishwa Talks is a space to expand the horizons of your mind. Every webinar, we call experts from different domains to discuss and examine opinions, issues, problems, and perspectives. Each webinar is an interactive session where we walk away with more respect for each other and a deeper understanding of the topic at hand. If you miss a session, Please visit our website or YouTube channel for a full library of past Vishwa Talks videos. Today on Vishwa Talks, we'll be discussing on the cause human rights and social welfare. Our speaker for today's Vishwa Talks is Prince Manvendra Singh Gohil, and he will lead us through the session in just a few moments. Prince Manvendra Singh Gohil is an Indian prince and LGBTQIA activist. He's the 39th heir to the throne of the Gohil dynasty of the Rajput Principality in Gujarat. In 2006, he became one of the first royals in India to publicly come out as gay, which was a significant step in the country where homosexuality was still a criminal offense at that time. Since coming out, Prince Manvendra has been an outspoken advocate for the rights of LGBT community in India. He, along with Sylvester Merchant, co-founded the Lakshya Trust, an organization that works towards preventing the spread of HIV/AIDS amongst MSMs. In addition, he has been involved in the various other organizations that promote LGBTQIA+ rights and equality. His activism has brought attention to the issues faced by the communities in India and has been widely recognized for his work and numerous awards and honors, including an award from UNAIDS and being invited as a guest on the Oprah Winfrey Show. He continues to work towards ending discrimination against LGBTQIA individuals in India and around the world. Before we get started, I'd like to inform everyone that our speaker will be taking questions from you after our curated questionnaire ends. So please leave your questions in the chat or raise a hand and we will allow you to ask the questions in person. I request everyone to turn on your webcam while interacting. Now, without any further ado, I invite our speaker to begin today's Vishwa Talks. A very good morning.
Thank you. Good morning, Trishant, for having me over here.
Thank you so much. Am I audible, clearly audible to you?
Yes, yes.
Thank you so much. I'd like to start off with a simple but yet complicated question. What inspired you to become an LGBTQIA activist and advocate for same-sex marriage rights in India?
So I think I grew up in India. I'm of course proud to be an Indian person, but all throughout my journey, I've seen there is a lot of hypocrisy in our society. People are not willing to accept the truth, and we always want to shy away from truth. We want to live in this fake world, and we want to live a life of lie. The double standards. And I have been a person always who wanted to be honest to myself and honest to others. So that's something which I would say motivated me or inspired me to speak the truth. And I know that truth is always bitter. You don't like, there are not many people who speak the truth. So you don't like when people speak the truth. But you have to accept it someday or the other, and I knew that when I speak the truth, I will have to face a lot of hurdles in my life. People are not going to accept it well. And but I also knew that truth always wins. We have the saying, Satyameva Jayate. So I said, come what may, I'm going to speak the truth. I'm going to be true to myself and others. And I will fight my battle my way with honesty and truthfulness. And that's why I took this step of coming out and telling the world that, yes, I am gay and I'm proud of it and I believe in it.
So, what do you think are the current legal barriers that prevent same-sex marriage in India? And what steps do you think we should take to overcome it?
See, before I answer this question, I want to clear one major misconception which is in the minds of the people of India, and this is from my own experience. A lot of us know that Homosexual Act got decriminalized in 2018 by the Honorable Supreme Court. Now, many people in India, when I talk to them, they think, oh, why do you need same-sex marriage rights? You have already got it in 2018. That it's a very common thing which I get to hear, and I have to repeatedly tell them that we were criminals till 2018. I mean, if we are, to be gay was never a crime, but to have sex was a crime and was punishable with 10 years of imprisonment. So I said, now we are free. Now we can have a sexual relationship, and we will not go to jail. It has to be consensual, and both the parties have to be adults. But we have not got the right to marry. We can only have sex. That's the only grace the Supreme Court has given us. But we cannot get married to our loved ones. So this new battle which we are currently fighting with the government and with the trying to get justice from the court is that we have filed a petition. We mean there are almost around 20 petitioners all over the country, gay couples, lesbian couples from different parts of India. They have filed petitions, and now all the petitions from the various states, that's Gujarat, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Delhi, they've all been clubbed, and they all will be heard together. I mean, today is the 15th. Yes, today is the 15th. In this another 3 days, on 18th, is the first hearing of the same-sex marriage petition, which is going to be heard by a bench of 5 judges in the Supreme Court, and that the hearing is going to begin because the government has already given their statement. So now, based on that, the hearings are going to start. And the good thing, which the Supreme Court has decided, is that there will be live streaming of this petition, this hearing. So the whole world will be able to watch it on YouTube. So yeah, I mean, which the government didn't want. I mean, the government was against it, but the Supreme Court ruled and said, no, nothing doing. We are going to have live streaming of this case. Let the whole world know. Why should you feel shy of again this questions hypocrisy. When you want to hide the truth, you want to hide the case, or you want to hide the petition. Supreme Court says let the parties be open about what they want to say, and let the whole world see it. Why do you want the world why do you want to shut the world from seeing the case? So that's a very good thing which is happening. And yes, the petitions the hearings are going to start, and let's see. Keep our fingers crossed. What happens?
Good luck with the case.
Yeah.
So I have a few more questions. What's the recent development or other cases, ongoing cases related to LGBTQIA communities going on right now?
So see, it was been very interesting. Last night I had dinner with one of the petitioners of the case. He's also a lawyer, and his name is Utkarsh. He's filed a petition in the Supreme Court, and I was talking to him, and in fact I mentioned to him about today's talk as well, and he gave me a lot of insight into it. And he said there are two kinds of petitions which have been filed. First of all, in the Marriage Act, there are two kinds of acts. One is a secular act and one is a personal act. Now, under the secular act, there is something called Special Marriage Act. And under the personal act, there are acts based on the religions, like you have the Hindu Marriage Act, Muslim Marriage Act, and you have the Christian Marriage Act. So, where most of the cases are, related to Hindu religion or Muslim religion or Christian religion, then people file petitions in that. But the Special Marriage Act is when there is a case where, for example, a gay couple or a lesbian couple, is filing. Then they normally file it under the Special Marriage Act because that's a gender issue. If there is a religious issue or there's a caste issue, when there are intercaste weddings and all. So in that case, Special Marriage Act is used. So this couple has filed under the Special Marriage Act. Then there is also something called Foreign Marriage Act, where if your partner is from an international resident. For example, in my case, I mean, though I have not filed the petition, but in my case, I'm married to an American man, and he's an American citizen. I'm an Indian citizen. So in that scenario, you can file a petition in the Foreign Marriage Act seeking justice that the one's partner gets the rights in our home country as well as he is enjoying or we are enjoying in the foreign country. So these are the different acts in which this petitions have been filed, and that's how the court is going to listen to them.
So other than you already told us about how it's impacting your personal life, how is it for other individuals? Like how closeted they have to be because of this?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask how closeted other people from the community have to be because of this. Could you share some more personal experiences?
Yes, I think a lot of people who are into a relationship, but they are since they are in closet, they are not ready to file petitions. Otherwise, the Supreme Court has said that the more petitions, the better. It will make the case stronger. But because people are shy of exposing themselves, and some of their parents are not accepted. See, the issue in India is that, and I mean, I can vouch for this. There are so many people I know, so many couples I know who have socially got married. They're living together for last so many years. I know a couple who have been living together for last 33 years. And they're having a very good bond. I mean, I think, sorry to say this for the heterosexuals listening to me, but we people have a stronger bonding and a stronger relationship when it comes to being together. How many heterosexual marriages today are lasting? You see the divorce rates, they're alarming. They're rising. How many couple and more than that, husband and wives in a heterosexual relationship mostly are living, pretending to be living happy. Just for the sake of the society and for their in-laws, and we are the happiest married couple. And I know how happy they are. There is so much of domestic violence happening at home, but at least we people don't pretend. We say that and we do that. So socially, a lot of people have got married, but there is no legal, status to our marriage. When people ask me why do you guys need same-sex marriage, to be legalized in India, I said, come on. I mean, you guys are married. That doesn't mean that we don't get the right to get married. I mean, it's a right. I mean, even though the government might say it's not a fundamental right, but it is a right. When each and every citizen of this country has been given the right to equality by the Indian Constitution under the fundamental right, then why aren't we getting the right, first of all, to love someone, and more than that, to live with someone we love, and to live the loved ones with all the rights. I mean, today we don't even have the right to inheritance. I mean, today, if we want to open bank accounts, we cannot open. A husband and wife can open bank account jointly, but I cannot open with my spouse or a husband or a wife. So I mean, we need these rights because we want to live a healthy life with our partners. We want to enjoy the freedom of being Indian citizens, and therefore it's important to fight for these rights.
Can you please share success stories or examples of positive change that have come out as a result of your advocacy work?
Yeah, I mean, see, I think there's a lot of media hype has happened. Whenever I've been given a chance, I've given a lot of media interviews. Not just yesterday, I also, like when we were discussing this, I was discussing with this lawyer, they were saying there's not enough media coverage on this. Because even, see, media is also, there's a lot of hypocrisy in the media as well, People don't want to talk. I'm glad you are at least bringing this topic out through Vishwa Talks on this medium, because people should know what is happening in this country, and it's high time we talk about it, instead of hiding facts. So through media, a lot of advocacy has happened. A lot of people have come to know that what is the reality in India, and that has brought a lot of attention from international front as well. I know there's a question you're going to ask me on that, so I'm not going to delve more on that international part of it. But definitely, I have done a lot of interviews on media, and not just English media, or in vernacular media, Hindi, Gujarati, Malayalam, lot of media, television. I've spoken openly about it, and I'm glad that the media has covered it up very positively, and not treating us like criminals, or immoral or uncultural, and so on and so forth. So that's a good thing, and that's helping a lot in strengthening not just the case, but also opening the mindsets and a lot of misconceptions which are prevailing in the country with regards to us.
How do you respond to criticism and opposition from individuals or groups?
Well, I'll tell you one secret. I love opposition. I love when people are critical about it, and I love, because you get to learn so much from them. I mean, you may talk very good things about me, but if you start criticizing me, that's when I know that this is how I should react to it, or this is how I should fight. See, people ask me, how do you manage to fight? I said, well, I'm a warrior. I'm a born warrior. You just now said in my introduction about my 650-year-old dynasty. We have fought wars for so many years. There is a warrior in my blood. So we want to know what the enemies are telling about us. When you go to a battlefield, you go to any battlefield, you want to know what the enemies are saying about you. That helps you to fight the war, and that helps you to win the war also. So I hate criticism. I love criticism. I always make a statement whenever people hate me. I say, I love my haters. The more you hate me, the more I will love you.
So when it comes to same-sex marriages, what is your opinion about people who are opposing it? What's the status like? What kind of people are opposing it, and what's happening?
See, as I was telling you, people are not understanding the whole concept of same-sex marriage, and even government has said it's uncultural and many things. But see, there is a very interesting thing yesterday that also we discussed, that even though the government has made a statement against us, and government has a right. See, government is the respondent today. Any respondent has a right to defend themselves. But on the other hand, we have a contradiction by Dr. Mohan Bhagwat, who is the chief of the RSS, who is they are also the mentors of the ruling party, the BJP. And Dr. Mohan Bhagwat has openly mentioned, and this is documented and recorded, that same-sex marriage has been part of our Indian culture. There is evidence. He has quoted about this. I don't know if you know about this story. That this Mohan Bhagwat has said this. That when Krishna was in fighting, the war, that Kurukshetra, there was a war was going on. In the Kaurav side, there were these two Kauravas were there, and probably Krishna knew that they were two having a relation with each other, and so Krishna played this trick and told one of the guy that hey, look, this other guy has committed suicide, and he's jumped in the lake and killed himself. And then that guy was so heartbroken. That he also took his life and jumped in the pond. And then he told the other guy that, hey, look, this friend has jumped in the well and taken his life. And then that guy was heartbroken, and he also jumped. So that way he was able to kill both of them. So this story was told by none other than Dr. Mohan Bhagwat, the chief of the RSS, which clearly says, talks about same-sex relationship happening in those days. There are so many examples I can give. This is just one of them. So it is a total contradiction of what RSS is saying and what BJP is saying. So I think this petition which has been filed is going to be a education for a lot of people, and especially it's going to be live streamed. So, when somebody asked me, what do you say about this petition? I said, this is nothing. The Supreme Court is nothing but a college. It's a university. and the government and all those people who are gone against us, they are students. So, and the professors are the lawyers, and the dean of the university is the judges, and the vice chancellor is the chief justice of the Supreme Court. So it is going to be an education. You think of it as a university where you come to do a course, and this petition is going to be a real education for all those people who think wrong about us. And through this education system, once the court judgment comes, that will be the final exam, and then the results will be declared, which is going to be the judgment. So that's my comparison of this entire petition in a nutshell.
So what needs to happen in order for society as a whole to fully accept and embrace same-sex marriages, LGBTQIA communities as a legitimate and equal form of partnership?
What is you asking what is going to be the outcome?
Yeah, like
yeah. See, before I talk about the outcome, let me tell you, why it is also important is we are saving so many lives today. In India, especially parents, they force their children, even after they come out to them as gay or lesbian, they are literally forcing them to get married to the opposite sex, and so many lives are are affected by that. I know so many cases where you are forced to get married to a girl, and then after some time they get divorced. Then what is the use of this marriage? We have no sexual attraction towards the opposite sex unless you are bisexual. So why do you need to force these children? And once this becomes legal, parents will also understand that yes, their children are gay. They have right to choose their partner. They have right to get married to their partners, and instead of forcing them to get. So that is one thing which I'm thinking, which is going to be a huge benefit to the entire society. Secondly, I think another good thing, and this I have talked to the government also many times when I have had opportunities to talk to government. I said, look at it from the financial point of view. We can definitely increase the financial capacity of the country. It has been proved by World Bank. World Bank, when had done a study, they have said that countries like India need to recognize the human rights of its citizens so that they can be financially empowered. Look at it, we call it the pink economy. Every country needs economic development, and so does India. We are still a debt-ridden country. If they are opening doors to same-sex marriage, imagine how many people are going to come to India. They will be feeling free. They will feel secure. When I travel across the globe, people have told me we are just waiting for India to legalize same-sex marriage. We'll come in flocks. We'll come in shiploadfuls. How much of foreign exchange is going to get generated? India is going to get rich, super rich. So government should think from that point of view, that if they need to fill their coffers, they need to fill their treasury, then they ought to. And we are not asking for anything special. We are just asking for rights to get married. That's it. So definitely there is a lot of benefits in this getting the same-sex marriage equalized.
So how can individuals outside of India support the community's efforts towards legal recognition of same-sex marriages in India?
I was waiting for this question. So, see, I want to take you back to 2018 when the Honorable Supreme Court decriminalized us. Now, not many people know, but the history behind winning this law, there was an international hand in this. This gentleman, his name was Justice Michael Kirby from Australia. He was the first openly gay judge of the world, and a very good friend of mine. He has written a biography, and in which he's mentioned me also in that. Now, Justice Michael Kirby was invited to India to talk to lawyers and judges and various people on human rights and on equality and many issues. So one of the things which he spoke to was about equality, human rights of LGBT community, and it so happened that when one of his talks, he had mentored Justice A.P. Shah. And that time he was not the judge of the Delhi High Court, but then afterwards he became the judge of the Delhi High Court, and the same Justice A.P. Shah gave a judgment in our favor. So imagine a foreigner, who has nothing to do with India. He's a judge from the High Court of Australia. In Australia, the High Court is equivalent to the Supreme Court of India, so they call it High Court. So he came to India, and that's how he and he told Justice Michael Kirby told me this when I met him, and that's how this first step of winning we got because of a foreigner. So definitely there's a lot of international, influences there. I want to read out one, survey which was done, and then I want to talk about what the international scene is. So there was this survey which was conducted by the Global Market Research Organization, IPSOS, in 2021, which said that 44% of Indians approved of same-sex marriage. 15% were for legal recognition for same-sex couples without the status of marriage. 18% were totally against same-sex union of any kind, and 25% were not sure. Okay, this is the survey which is done now. This survey also says that the international human rights organizations and Western governments keep telling countries in the global South to give a wide spectrum of gender rights, including the rights to same-sex marriage. So there is a dialogue, there is a dialogue happening between countries where same-sex marriage has been legalized, like for example, Netherlands, Sweden, France, USA, UK. They are definitely having dialogues with India, because who doesn't want to be at par with other countries? Look at Taiwan. Taiwan is such a small country. It's not even as big as any one of small states. I'm sure even Kerala must be bigger than in Taiwan in terms of population. But they have legalized same-sex marriage. I was invited to Taiwan in 2018 when they had legalized it, and the government of Taiwan had invited me there to. I couldn't go because it clashed with my Navratri festival in India. But definitely, we need to learn from these kind of countries, and how they have developed. Why can't India develop in the same manner like these countries? Why do we have to stick to all these hypocritical statements of culture and this and that, which carry no meaning? So that's the point which I want to make.
What role do you believe education and awareness play in changing public attitudes towards same-sex marriage, and how can we work towards increasing this awareness?
Definitely, we need awareness. With the first answer which I told you, I told you that there's this huge misconception which I'm trying to change, in the people's minds, that we have already got the rights. Why do we need it? So people are not aware. People are not aware of our law. See, first and foremost thing I want to tell you and tell the audience, nothing to do with today's talk, is how many people in India have even read the Indian Constitution? You should do a survey. If you do the survey, I can challenge you, not even 5% of Indians have read the Indian Constitution. Indian Constitution is our Bible. You may or may not read the Bible, fine, but Indian Constitution, each and every Indian citizen should read, not just law students, because this Constitution is one of the best written constitutions of the world. Even Hillary Clinton has read it, and it guarantees equal rights to all Indian citizens, including the sexual minority and the gender identities as well. So we have to understand that it is awareness, it is education. Through these mediums, we can spread the facts and break the stereotypes and try to see that we remove the misconceptions from the people, what people believe and what people see, because an internet is not the right source. Let me tell you, internet may not give you the right facts. Talk to people like us who have gone through the struggles, who have gone through this whole journeys and this challenges in our life, and we will tell you what we have gone through, and then people will understand that why we need change in this society.
I'll have one last question from my side. What message would you like to send to LGBTQIA individuals in India who may be struggling with their identity or the lack of legal recognition for the marriages?
Yeah, my simple advice to all people who are from the LGBT community or who are trying to identify or trying to come to terms with their sexuality is accept yourself. Very simple. I mean, it sounds simple, but it's not that simple. Accept yourself. The moment you accept yourself, half your problems will be gone. I've seen a lot of people struggling with themselves. They said, no. I'm straight, but I sometimes like to have a fling with somebody who's from the same sex, and then that person will turn around and say, no, I think I'm not straight, I'm bisexual, and then after some time that person will say, no, I don't think I'm bisexual, I'm gay. So it takes a while for a person to come to terms with one's sexuality. I also gone through the same process. I know how it is, but we need to accept whether we come out of the closet, whether we talk to others about our sexuality is secondary. But first and foremost, we need to accept ourselves. Did I break?
No, you're good.
Okay, no, somebody sent a message that we cannot hear. Anyway, so we need to come out to ourselves first, and then we can think about coming out to others. But homosexuality is natural and normal. It is there even in animals. So one need not fear about it. Just live the life of truth. That's my simple message to the LGBT community. And yes, one last message to all the people who are listening to me or even from the community is a very important message. Please love yourself. If you love yourself, you will be able to love a lot of others. You will be less judgmental towards the others. You will spread less of hatred. We are there to love you, of course. Even if you all hate us, I'll still love you. But if you love yourself, you will be more loving towards other people. So that's just my simple and the last message.
Thank you so much. Sir, I'd like to call upon Vishwa's founder, Srivani Mullapudi, to continue the talk. Good morning, ma'am.
Okay.
Namaste. I would now like to request the audience to 30 seconds to answer the questions. The purpose of the poll is to help us understand you a little better.
I was getting a lot.
Then continue, Trishant.
Sure.
Okay.
Before we move to the Q&A, I would like to request the audience to take 30 seconds to answer a poll for us. The purpose of the poll is to help us understand you a little better so we can curate the topics that we bring to you. You can let us know in the chat box how you found out about Vishwa Talks. If you are a Vishwa Talks subscriber, heard about it through your friends or family, or found out about it through the social media. While you take the survey, I would like to express my gratitude to everybody who has joined us today for their presence and interactive contribution to making this webinar a success. I extend my gratitude to our speaker, Prince Manvendra Singh Johar, for taking time to grace this event. Hello. Yes, ma'am, am I audible to you? Can you
Yes,
please
you're
check? Sure. So, what is Vishwa? I'd like to share a little bit about what we do at Vishwa, our mission, and how you can contribute. Vishwa is an online platform for everyday change makers and social champions. It's a crowdfunding and crowdsourcing platform that is aimed at helping anyone and everyone find the support they need in their efforts to fulfill their dreams for themselves and for others, and in the process, make the world a better place. In addition to thought-provoking talks such as this one, we also want to extend the curiosity for exploration to our youth and young ones as well. So we are launching two more segments called Vishwa Talks Junior and Youth to facilitate learning and important conversations in the bright minds of new generations. We successfully completed a Ugadi material donation drive, and we were able to collect a significant amount of donations and help those in need. We are thrilled to announce that Vishwa was able to collect a lot of materials, and our partner NGOs helped in the distribution drive a lot. And I want to show my gratitude to them. I'll resume with the questions from the audience, sir. And
Shall I try again, Trishant?
yes, ma'am, you're audible now.
Yeah. Okay. So first, I would like to thank Mr. Manvinder Singh for coming here. It's not an easy topic, and we at Vishwa would like to bring in awareness, because many times we do see that there's a lot of judgment, opinions, biases against this topic, and there is a need to bring in awareness among the society to address this issue. So thank you so much for coming out with this topic. Thank you for being open about it and having the courage. Not many people would have the courage that you have to come about, especially from a society that you come in. To come out and talk is not easy. I'd like to thank you for that. Yeah. So I have a few questions. The thing is there a documentary in Indian mythology, history, chronology of the existence of same-sex relationships? Has anybody ever done it? Or is it available, or has anybody ever done it?
Yeah, I think you asked a very relevant question. I don't know if you have heard the name of Devdutt Patnaik. Devdutt Patnaik is he's a friend of mine also, and he has written several books on mythology and Indian culture with relation to the LGBTQI community, and how in the olden days there was acceptance. There was so much of freedom, and we have of course a lot of evidence available with us in the forms of temples and sculptures and paintings and scriptures. But he's done a real good documentation of the mythology part of it. Then there is another author, of course, one of them passed away recently, Salim Kidwai and Ruth Vanita. They are both authors, and they have also done a good amount of documentation on this topic. So, but Devdutt, of course, talks about it. He is also very vocal about whenever he's invited to talk. Then he does talk about these issues very openly, and through his books and he's got a vast knowledge about. And like when I something which I shared in the interview just now about this Mahabharata, there are many things which are unknown to us. There are many things which are there in our scriptures, but we are unknown or unaware of it, because see, the British have tried to wipe off our Indian culture. They wanted to impose their Victorian moralities on us. So now the time has come that we have to unlearn ourselves. Whatever we have learned is not what we wanted. Were supposed to learn. Is the British have made this education system for us, which unfortunately the Indian government has carried forward after even getting rid of them, which is unfortunate. So now we have to unlearn ourselves and to learn the facts of our history, our culture, and these are the people who can help us revive our history and our culture and get back. Otherwise, I mean, where did you get Khajuraho from? Nobody talks about Khajuraho. Nobody talks about Kama Sutra. I mean, all these things are more popular in the Western world than India. The Kama Sutra is the oldest sex encyclopedia. I mean, you're talking about documentation. I mean, forget about Devdutt Patnaik and these people. This has been documented 500 years even before Jesus Christ was born. the Kama Sutra. But who talks about it? We are the land of the oldest sex encyclopedia, yet the basic sex education is missing in our schools and colleges, which is a very paradox situation. So we need to bring this back. We need to revive it, show that we are proud of the Indian culture, and I'm proud to be Indian. You see me, I'm always dressed in Indian attire. I'm not proud to be a British or proud to be American. I'm proud to be Indian, and because I'm proud of the Indian culture, and I'm proud of the Kama Sutra as well.
So you mentioned 3 authors' name, but is there a book or a documentary or a Netflix or an OTT documentary which chronologizes this historically, specifically?
Well, that's in the process. It's happening. It's going to happen very soon. I cannot name the persons who are doing it because it's confidential, but that's definitely happening. We are definitely archiving a lot of LGBT history about in India, what has happened in the past, and what has also helped us to win some of our rights and given us the freedom. So that's definitely in the pipeline.
Vishwa has done 4 talks on the LGBTQ community, and each time we have been banned from sending ads out when we come out with this creatives. So why is there a bias in the social media? Is there anybody dealing with it in this community? Because on the one hand, we are saying we need to bring in awareness for them to have acceptability. On the other hand, to bring in awareness, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Instagram, why is it that they ban the ads? Any
Very
idea?
simple and short answer. It's called hypocrisy, which I mentioned in my first answer. India is not ready to accept the truth as yet. I mean, you're talking about banning your shows. We are banned from even going to Khajuraho.
Seriously?
And yes, seriously. When the Supreme Court hearing was going on 2018, when we were fighting for our rights, we were banned from going to Khajuraho to take photographs of the homoerotic form of statues and sculptures. So you can imagine what kind of hypocrisy is prevailing in this country. I mean, this is luckily we have transgenders, we have the trans community, the Hijra community, which are powerful, and they managed to go and get inside the Khajuraho temple and get photographs, and prove. See, today, whatever case we are fighting, whether it is 377 or a same sex, Supreme Court wants proof, wants evidence. We have the proof, but we are being banned from getting the proof. Why? Because they don't want to accept the truth. Why Vishwa talks are getting banned? Because they don't want to accept the truth. It's simple, but we have to keep fighting. Whether they accept or they do not accept, we have to fight for it, because ultimately truth will always prevail, and Satyameva Jayate. So we keep fighting. Doesn't matter. We will definitely get justice one day, or not now, maybe 10 years later. Fine, we will wait. But we will fight, because our fight is based on truth and honesty, and truth will always win.
There is one question. Justice D.Y. Chandrachud had set the tone with the slogan, "Take me as I am," in the Supreme Court judgment that read down Section 377. Now, he's the Chief Justice of India. In the face of the crumbling institutions in India, do you think he might just be the best bet for legal empowerment of the community?
Definitely. See, Justice Chandrachud has given so many rights to this country, and these rights were guaranteed by the fundamental rights of the Indian Constitution, and yet they were denied to the Indian citizens. The first thing which he did was to give right of privacy, which was one of the rights which we were also asking for. Then he gave us the rights in the Supreme Court when he was one of the five, the judge of the one of the bench of the 5 judges. And now also today, because of him, that we are able to get the hearings so soon, because the fact that he also decided to club all the petitions, because today, as of last year, there were petitions being heard at Delhi High Court, and there were petitions being heard at Tamil Nadu and Kerala and Delhi and Gujarat and all so many places. He said, no, all the petitions are dealing with the same issue, same cause. So they are not to be heard separately. They all need to be clubbed under one court. And he brought all the petitions. There were 20 petitions. They all been clubbed together, and they will be heard by the 5-member bench in the Supreme Court. So definitely, and also the hearings are coming up fast. I mean, the last hearing was I think in March, and now it is happening on 18th of April. So they're definitely pushing it forward because they believe in human rights. That's important. Our rights are nothing but human rights, and we definitely need our rights as Indian citizens. We need our rights as others are enjoying.
So as we'll have to shut the talk at 12 o'clock, but we will still continue taking questions. There are a lot of questions in the chat box. I'll just wrap up this call for officially. I would like to tell a little bit of what Vishwa is. Vishwa is it's an online platform to bring in change for everyday change makers and social champions. It's a crowdsourcing platform that is aimed at helping anyone find the support they need in their efforts to fulfill their dreams for themselves and for others. Just as Mr. Manvinder Singh is doing this, he's a social change maker, and he wants to bring in this change to fulfill dreams for himself and for others, and in the process make our world a better place where everybody has the human rights to live with dignity and respect. So in addition, Vishwa Talks also has thought-provoking talks every Saturday, essentially to extend the curiosity for exploration to our youth and young ones as well. We have launched 2 new segments for Vishwa Talks for Youth and Vishwa Talks Junior to facilitate learning and important conversations to sow important thoughts in the bright minds of this new generation. If those of you know any schools who would be interested in listening to talks, I remember my child was studying in Rishi Valley, and every month they had an eminent person coming and talking to them. One talk can alter the life of a child. So if any of you know any schools who are interested, we would like to ensure our talks reach to them. Yes, the talks for children are very different. We will do that. Stay up to date with our Vishwa Talks Youth and Junior programs by subscribing to our emails. I would also like each of you, there are many people who want to come to Vishwa Talks but have not subscribed to Vishwa Talks. It's essential that you subscribe specifically to Vishwa Talks, because the rules for WhatsApp, rules for Facebook, Instagram are very tough. So unless you are subscribed, we cannot even send you the details. Lastly, we also have Vishwa materials. We completed a very successful program this Ugadi. We generally do it in Diwali time and Ugadi time. It's our tradition where we clean up our homes, we clean up the clutter, and many communities in and around Hyderabad have come forward. There were certain communities where 100 households had donated, and this was given away in around 4 communities. There are around 160 slums in Hyderabad, and around 4 communities we were able to donate these. And I remember their children, young students who are studying in degree and all, saying, thanks to the drive that Vishwa has done, an entire year's clothes have come to them. They don't need to spend money on clothes. We've been having some success stories. Srujana, cerebral palsy, a young girl was suffering from cerebral palsy. Her principal of her school from a small town in Andhra Pradesh raised, because a crowdfunding campaign in our platform. She was walking 11 kilometers to school every day in her condition. And thanks to him raising, we were able to support her. Similarly, We have a few new fundraisers, Kanashray Foundation. All of us have someone that we know in our families or in our extended friends circle, where parents with children who are spastic or especially able generally sacrifice their entire careers, their lives, taking care of the child. Here is a foundation, Kanashray Foundation at Rajmundry, where parents leave these children there in the boarding. If any of you know anybody who would like to donate or are interested in donating, we would like you all to adopt one teacher. One teacher's salary in a month is only 10,000 in Rajmundry. So if you can adopt, it'll be great. Similarly, food, one meal will be around 3,000 to 6,000. Please look into the fundraiser and donate as per your convenience. Similarly, for Bal Vikas Education Society for disabled children in Hyderabad, please do the needful. Let me lastly come to upcoming talks. We have one talk by Dr. Jaiprakash Narayan, his organization, Federation of Democratical Reforms. Today, we have noticed that most political parties are doling out subsidies and freebies and money and under various schemes. So much so, I see that the culture and the fabric of our society is breaking down, and that money, a family gets 50,000 a month because each individual is given free money for 15,000. At 8 o'clock in the morning, we see men queuing up in the front of liquor shops, and families getting destroyed. Our country in certain states are getting destroyed, not just with the liquor issue, but because the government is not prudently using this money for development issues for the sake of votes. We have Dr. Jaiprakash Narayan on the topic, Protecting India's Future, a Path to Fiscal Prudence. All of us have seen what's happened in Sri Lanka, what's happened in Venezuela, what's happened in Pakistan. We Indians, at least the educated Indians, let us listen to what he has to say. I would like each of you to spread about this talk, which is coming up on April 22nd, 2023 at 11 a.m. to at least 10 of your friends. Please share with them the talk details. We have another talk by Mr. Pankti Goel. He's the founder CEO of the organization Empower Now, and it's on prevention of sexual harassment at workplaces. The date is 29th April 2023, 11 a.m. Many women, I'm not saying just women, but I'm sure men too, when they face sexual harassment in workplaces, they don't know whom to approach, where to tell, and silently face the humiliation. Here we have Ms. Pankti Goel coming and talking to us on what is the present situation and how to deal with it. Lastly, please take a moment to subscribe to Vishwa Talks to get alerts on every new and exciting talk, exclusive events, and access to the Vishwa community. Please do subscribe to Vishwa Talks and ensure at least 10 people in your circles subscribe. As I have already told you, our ads are not going out. And the only way we can help out this talk, which wants to bring awareness in the society, is through word of mouth. And we need your support. So with this, I will start continuing the question answers. So, sir, what is your message to people who are paranoid about same-sex legalization?
I think we should not lose hope. As we have gone through the process in fighting for 377, though it took us 20 years. So we should be patient enough and be optimistic about winning, because as I mentioned earlier, it is going to be an education, system. I was telling Prishank, I said, I see this entire process of this hearing of this case is going to be a proper, like an education institution, delivering education to the people who are not aware of the facts. I don't blame the government. I don't blame anyone who is opposing us. I blame their ignorance. They are ignorant about these subjects, these topics, because they have not been taught this in schools. They have not been taught in our education system. So the education system to be blamed. So I am very hopeful that we will definitely get justice. We have all the evidence with us. We have the supportings. We have the documents, whereas the opposition doesn't have. You know, they are just basing their statements on the basis of, oh, it's going to be against culture and this, and it's going to create havoc in the society. I mean, how are you going to prove that it's going to create havoc in the society? There's absolutely no way, you know. On the contrary, I said there are so many benefits, you know. And the good thing is a lot of people are now supporting us. We have the Indian Psychiatry Association Society, which has filed a petition in the Supreme Court, which is supporting us for this. There is the Delhi Child Rights Commission, which has also filed a petition in the Supreme Court supporting us. So we are receiving a lot of support, and definitely international influence will be there in this case, as it has happened in 377. So we just have to be hopeful, and we have to just be patient enough. And I am optimistic. We will definitely win this case because ultimately justice listens to truthful people and not hypocrites. You know, it is honesty which wins, and it is hypocrisy which loses.
Okay, another question from Ms. Savita. Will legal same-sex marriages pave the way for legal adoption of kids by same-sex couples?
Definitely. That's the next step. I mean, we are going step by step. So definitely, I always say India has got a huge population. India has got so many orphan children. I mean, look at the pandemic. How many children have got orphaned? They have no lives. They have no security. They have no future. I mean, if India legalizes adoption laws, imagine how many children are going to get such a bright future, good education, good future, you know. Otherwise, these children are going to get criminals. You know, they'll be in these homes, remand homes, and they'll turn prostitutes, beggars, criminals, alcoholics, drug addicts. Does India want to see increase of criminals in this country, or India needs these children to be adopted and given a good future? You know, India has to decide. We are just making a proposition, and again it is being scientifically and universally proved that we can be much better parents than heterosexual parents can be.
Two questions. Is there a petition on this already put that they can adopt, or only?
No. This petition is not going to hear about the adoption laws. This is strictly same-sex marriage petition, but this might come up in the hearing, and it has already come up, you know. So this matter will be, I mean, it's up to the judges who are now going to hear the case whether they want to listen to the adoption issues during the course of hearing, or they may just refuse and say that, well, just stick to the same-sex marriage issue and not talk about the inheritance and adoption laws at the moment.
Okay. Miss Srimati Jyoti Jyotish, please. You can ask your question.
Namaste to everybody, and my namaskarams to Manavendra ji as well.
Namaste.
I can't agree more when you say that we are a land of hypocrites. We are, seriously. Like you very rightfully said, that our country is the one that has given a complete documentation on sex, the Kama Sutra. And when our society resorts to this kind of hypocrisy where they can't even accept something which is natural. This is not man-made. Whether it's please pardon me if I'm using any words that hurt you. I don't intend to. Whether it is same-sex marriage or same-sex friendship or whatever that might be, I don't understand who gives these so-called torchbearers in the society to sit on a judgment saying that this is right, this is not right. I really don't see any sense to that. At the same time, I would also like to, I love the dialogue that you said. I love my haters. That's the best approach to adopt. You know why? Because the hypocrisy factor is so predominant. I know of mothers who are extremely hesitant to even discuss something as basic and as mandatory, if I may say so, as menstruation with their daughters. So in such a scenario, it is really very difficult for people to come out and accept something which they consider unnatural. But I feel that patience and perseverance and not giving up will definitely yield results. Like the beautiful saying in Hindi goes, "Dheere dheere re mana, hathi man bhar khaye." So I'm sure you will achieve your goals. There is nothing that's going to stop you from achieving that. It's just a matter of time. And yes, I know it is an uphill task. I wish you all the very best. And I don't know, I'm really falling short of words to appreciate you. Here, the so-called normal people, we keep cribbing, ye nahi milta, wo nahi milta, and see the kind of fight that you are so bravely putting up. Hats off to you. And really, I wish you that you win in every aspect of your fight. God bless you.
Thank you.
And as usual, Vishwa, you guys rock.
Thank you so much, madam. I really appreciate what you said. Thank you.
No, seriously, and I mean every word of this, because I have a few friends who are gays, and they're so talented, supremely talented. Their artistic abilities would put any so-called normal person to shame. They're immensely talented and so good at heart. I fail to understand what is stopping the so-called society from accepting them. Why this discrimination? Are we really free? We're celebrating 75 years of so-called freedom, but I don't see any freedom. We still have dowry deaths. We have female infanticides. We have this LGBT thing that is happening. I don't understand which world are we living in. I really hope and wish and pray that things change for the better. And yes, adoption rigmarole in our country. There are, in the guise of ensuring a good, safe future for the child who's going to be adopted, there are so many rules and regulations that are put in place, but none when it comes to putting such rules where it's really required. How? Correct me if my understanding is wrong. You put so many rules towards adopting a child for other people. How dare they allow a porn artist like Sunny Leone to go ahead and adopt a baby girl? I don't realize this. This is a big question in front of me. What is the God forbid, really, what is the security of the child? And she is a person who touts and says that, I am not ashamed of my past. So what is the guarantee? We can only pray that good sense prevails and the child is secure. Rules for all unnecessary things, and rules are not there for what are really mandatory. I don't want to take much time. I would like to wish you good luck. And all the best. God bless. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome.
Next question. Why is the legalization of same-sex marriage necessary? When already they say that it has been non-criminalized and the same-sex people are living together. Why is it necessary now?
I think I've answered this question, but I don't mind repeating it. See, it is like how a heterosexual couple today is enjoying the freedom of the marriage. It has a legal status, can do so many things legally together, can own properties together, can have bank accounts together, can have policies together, insurance policies together. So that's what we're asking for. That's the marriage will, the rights will lead us to doing things organized in an organized manner. Because just now we are not able to do anything with our partners. We are living together fine, we are socially accepted fine, but there is no legal standing to it, and legal standing will also make our relationship stronger. Because if marriage becomes legal, even divorce will become legal. It will be the same way if you want to divorce. Once you are getting a marriage right, you will have to go through the divorce process like any other heterosexual goes. So that's precisely why we need these rights.
Okay. How do we bring in more awareness in schools, with teachers, with the community out there? What is happening in Rajasthan?
Well, I'm not from Rajasthan. I'm from Gujarat.
Sorry, what's happening in Gujarat?
I'm doing a lot of work with schools, colleges, universities. I'm very happy that students, especially the Indian students, and we have the largest youth population in the world, which is also a good thing. They are taking a lot of interest in our issues. So I get so many calls coming from educational institutions inviting me over to come and talk to them. I have already done 18 TED Talks in India, which is quite a big number, and I'm still getting invitations to come and do TED Talks. So that shows that the students are interested in us. They are very curious, and it's a good sign because the students are the future of our country, the future of our society, of our culture. And if the students are taking that much of interest, I'm sure we can vouch for a very healthy and an informed and aware society for the future.
Has there been any survey done on the different states and their acceptability to the communities, the LGBTQ community? And okay, that's the first question.
I am not aware of a survey of this sort, but yes, it's a good idea. I mean, it could be done. Like I just read out this survey which I got about same-sex marriage, what Indians feel about it. So I'm sure this kind of a survey could also be done where we find out what is the acceptance level. Definitely.
I'm sure with so many survey apps now available, if we could do that, then we will know, okay, this particular state is way backward. Let's do more talks. Let's do more awareness programs in this area. And
Definitely.
what are the awareness programs that are being conducted by this society in the different locations?
Sorry, what are the awareness programs conducted by whom?
By the community, because there, as you said, there's a lot of judgment about it. There's a lot of bias about it. So and the first step that needs to be taken, whether you want to change the law or whatever, you first need to bring in awareness in the society. And what actions are being taken to bring in this awareness?
So my organization, Lakshya Trust, has been involved with a lot of education programs. We are working with a lot of universities in Gujarat, in Baroda, Ahmedabad, Gandhinagar. We got a chance to meet the education minister as well in the government of Gujarat, and we are trying to see how we can include issues of the LGBTQI plus in the textbooks. As you probably would know, the Madras High Court, while listening to a petition filed by a lesbian couple, had ruled that each and every education institution of India should include issues of the LGBTQI plus in the textbooks. That was a judgment given by the Madras High Court. So I think taking from that, if we are able to include these issues, and I have already been successful in doing so in certain law universities in Gujarat, where they have already included. We are also running a module course in one of the universities in Gandhinagar. Baba Saheb Ambedkar Open University has already approached us that how can we help you, and we need your help to decide our curriculum and syllabus. So there are a lot of universities who are interested, and we are working with them to see how best we could include this in the education system.
So what I understand is that most of the transgenders and certain people of this community drop out from schools because of stigmatization, and most of them lose an opportunity for livelihood and are pushed towards begging or coming to functions for tips. So the reason the schools need to be brought awareness about this community is not for any sexual reasons, but for reasons of ensuring the child is not stigmatized and he can complete his education completely so that he can be financially independent just like anyone else.
Exactly.
Yeah. And a question has come, how does it impact insurance?
How does it impact?
The insurance, same-sex insurance, how does it impact?
See, we obviously, we all plan our future, so we take insurance policies. So definitely when I'm sure if you're married, you'd like to have your husband as a nominee in the insurance policy. After who's going to be the nominee, who's going to be getting the claims and everything. So we also need to ensure the financial security of our partners. Today we don't have any such thing with us, and these rights will help us to have our spouse names, whether if you're a gay then a husband, whether if you're lesbian then a wife. I think the word spouse is very important here, because instead of saying husband and wife, now we should start using the word spouse, which can be either a husband or a wife, and that will help us, in many ways, to ensure that we are securing our spouses for the future.
So in the insurance sheet, is writing a person's name who's not related to you banned officially?
I mean, see, my understanding,
House, and if you just nominate a person's name, is it not accepted?
it's not. That's what I'm saying. I mean, it's in India. It's not accepted, because the whole question of marriage is not there. You have to understand, there is no marriage status for Indians.
So are you saying that if you're not related to a particular person, you can't nominate them as
Yes, exactly.
Okay. So
bank accounts also were very clear. They do not. You cannot nominate somebody who is not, your blood relation or something like that. And especially, forget about that. I mean, even if they allow, I would like to nominate my husband in a bank account. Today I cannot, because his marriage with me is not recognized in India. He can nominate me in the US if he wants to, but so, I cannot nominate him in India.
So I'd like to share a few of my experiences where I heard from my father's friends a couple of issues which I wanted to say. My father is 75 years old, and his friend was telling me that there were gays in their classes, and they were forced to marry, and the girls committed suicide because in those days divorce was not accepted, and the girl didn't have a choice to go out of that marriage, and the boy didn't have a choice to live his life the way he wants to. This was one experience. Another experience is, even if the person lives with the person of his choice and he writes his property legally for the other person, once the person is dead, the relatives of that person force the spouse to leave all the properties and go onto the streets. These are real life experiences that I've heard, and I'm sharing this with you.
No, thanks for sharing. I mean, I know so many cases of this kind of things happening in India, and there's nothing which can be done about it. The properties and everything is just taken away, and the poor person who is living with that guy for last so many 20 years, 25 years gets nothing. The relatives just throw him out of the house and say, no, you're nothing. You are no relation with our son. You have nothing to do with him. Just get out from here. So that's the reason why we want these rights, to secure each other.
One last acknowledgement, sir. I wish you all the best. I hope people realize that everyone has a right to love, irrespective of his gender. Live and let live. Yeah.
Thank that individual, whoever is it. I highly appreciate that comment.
Yeah. The laws for marriage and divorce does not applicable to both husband and wife. So if same-sex marriages is allowed, then whose version will be accepted? I didn't
get the question.
Me neither. It's a spam. Please ignore it. A moment.
Does not applicable to both husband and wife. The laws of the marriage and divorce does not apply to both husband and wife. So if same-sex marriage is allowed, then whose version will be accepted? Yes, you can speak. Please unmute yourself. See you.
I have requested you to unmute yourself. Could you please unmute yourself, Prabha? There's no response to the unmute. Ma'am, please proceed.
Yes, she's speaking.
Sir, I do not wish to share the video. I think audio is adequate for me. My question was about legalization of persons who are of the same gender. As you're talking about the legal validity, as you know, that the laws for marriage and divorce are not the same for men and women. When it comes to grounds of divorce for a man, it is different. Grounds for divorce for women, it is also different. We also have religious laws which does not apply equitably. We have different kind of religion, and we also have its application differently. So if you propose that same-sex marriage be allowed and legalized, in certain situations, the husband is supposed to pay a divorce, pay a maintenance after the divorce. So in this situation, the other person, would they be considered as the husband of the wife? And would they be entitled to probably pay maintenance or take care of the children in case they separate? Which laws
So,
do you think should be appropriately applied?
see, you have asked a relevant question. See, divorce case matters definitely. It will be treated separately. It will not be clubbed under the heterosexual marriage. Where they are coming under those kind of act. That's why when I in the beginning when I spoke, I said this comes under Special Marriage Act, because this is not under the Hindu or the Muslim or this and that. The religious part doesn't come in the picture, because this is these are the special cases, and therefore this comes under the Special Marriage Act, where those conditions will not apply, as you have mentioned, where that if it's a woman, then she is entitled to maintenance. If it's a man and he has to pay the maintenance, here both these spouses are equal. There is no husband and there's no wife. It is a spouse and there's a spouse, whether it is a gay couple or it's a lesbian couple.
No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. The Special Marriage Act does make a differentiation between man and a wife, and that has been the fundamental difference for all marriage laws. And secondly, when we talk about the persons who would choose to register in the Special Marriage Act, that is only for persons who are coming from different religious background, and they would still want to go ahead, because under the Islamic law, a Muslim man is not allowed to marry a Hindu woman. But if they choose to still go ahead and marry, they can do so. That is under the Special Marriage Act, but that is subject to an exception that they will have to forego their proprietary right. So are you willing to let go of your right to property to be able to marry the gentleman?
See,
because
madam,
that is the law currently.
Madam, when this hearing will be going on, the judges have the right to amend the Special Marriage Act for the special case of the same-sex couples. That's what I meant. I know what you're saying is right. I know what you mean to say, but the judges have the power to amend this act based on the requirements, because here both the spouses are same. There is no husband and there's no wife. There's a man and a man, there's a woman and woman. In fact, if you read the Special Marriage Act, they don't even talk about man and woman, they talk about persons. And in person, you could have a male, you could have a female. So there are powers to amend. And that's why when Trishant asked me this question about how international, how influence of international will have on this law, there will be definitely international influence happening, where how other countries have done. Similarly, India will also adapt to that whenever the question arises.
Sir, on the question,
how Taiwan has done it, how Netherlands has done, how America has done. So they will definitely adapt to changes in the law based on other countries, other cultures, and they will see that justice is given, and there is nowhere that justice is denied on the basis of such acts.
That is, I would just want to revert on your points. For you mentioning that the Special Marriage Act mentions the term person or a spouse, but that is subject to general legal interpretation. Well, the interpretation that you're giving is a special interpretation, which does not have a legal basis, not to mention a law, and we do not have a precedent. So the argument does not have a legal support to it. Secondly, when it comes to the international application of it, there's only Article 19 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which guarantees the right to marry. There is nothing under the Indian law which allows a man to marry a woman. It is not their fundamental right. It is not recognized in the Constitution. So when it is not even recognized for a man to marry a woman, and the Constitution does not recognize as a fundamental right, what chance do people have who are of the same gender to marry? Because our law even does not permit that. So I think we will have to come through proper channel. First, probably we have to recognize that we have a fundamental right to marry, and then people who are in the same gender, they should be given this right.
Madam, I completely understand your statements. I'm not the right person to answer these questions. My simple simple plea to people who are listening today is that we need to have the rights. Whether there is a provision for it or there is no provision for it, I don't know what is there in the law. But what we need is our rights to live together as partners and enjoy the freedom to be who we are. That is
Sir,
my simple.
as far as your right is concerned about people belonging to the same gender and to be able to live together and enjoy each other's company and to take care of each other, the NAS Foundation judgment by declaring Section 377 as unconstitutional, it has already done. There is really no need of legitimization of marriage, because people can live together, and of course, putting people in jail for being with the person they love, that is totally wrong. I agree to that. But you don't need to marry persons to be able to do that. You can even adopt children. You don't have to marry to be able to adopt children. There is nothing under the Indian law which says. In fact, there was an impediment which allowed men to adopt children, but a single girl or a girl who is unmarried could not adopt. But that has also been sufficiently liquidated. So there's really nothing under the Indian adoption laws which prohibit you from adopting children. You don't need marriage certificate.
Well, I don't agree with you, but anyway, if you have to argue, then you can. But yeah, so
I'm not arguing, sir. I'm just telling you the law.
Continue, Trisha.
Ma'am, would you try to clarify whether you are for or against the notion of
No, I don't
same-sex
think Prashant, let
marriages?
her keep her opinion to herself.
Sure.
Ours is a platform where everybody can ask a question in a very non-violent fashion as to what their opinions are and have a right to get an answer. Let us not interfere in whether they want to be anonymous,
Sure.
not anonymous, whether they have an opinion for.
I'd just like to say it's a very subjective opinion ma'am has put forward.
It doesn't matter.
And,
We are not here
sure.
to, we are only here to put in everybody's point of view. We are
These
not
are the
here to be
questions which you
judgmental
would be
about their
asked in the court.
opinions.
These are the questions which
Just
you would
one
be
second,
asked in the court.
Prabha, 1 second. When one person is talking, let them talk. Prashant,
Sure.
she has every right to talk, every right to ask whatever questions she has. And let her complete her questions, and the speaker will answer to as much knowledge as he has. If he can, well and good. If he cannot, he's already saying this is a question with respect to law. I'm not too aware of it. Each should be respected for their opinions and their thoughts, and each has a right to ask their questions. Let's not interrupt.
Thank you, ma'am. Because since we are going through the legal purview, the questions that I've just raised in this very democratic and a very open platform is the same questions which the courts are going to be asking you. The same questions the respondents are going to be asking you. So you need to be going to the court with proper legal answers, because courts are not going to decide based upon emotions. They are going to be deciding based upon precedents, based upon law, and the existing legal framework of the law have been. So I support you in terms of the good wishes that you have for people who are suffering and who have concerns. My good wishes with them. But as a person of law and as a person who has little information about the law, I do not see any validity or legal validity in the claim. There is a huge legal hurdle. You need to come across that and make a good case in the court.
Ma'am, I have a question. Okay, before asking your question, I would like to ask, sir, there is already a writ petition on this issue, right, in the Supreme Court?
Yes.
And who is the lawyer who's fighting this case?
There are various lawyers. As I mentioned, there are 20 petitions have been filed. So all the petitioners have their own lawyers. Of course, Menaka is also there. Menaka, who was fighting the 377 case. She's one of the lawyers. Then there is Anand Grover is there, who's a very senior lawyer who has also was fighting for the this 377 case. So there are senior lawyers who are fighting it out in each of these 20 petitions.
So does the inheritance law come with the NAS, or does it come with the Marriage Act?
See, we are not even talking about inheritance now. We are not even talking about adoption. These things are going to come up.
Please wait, let him complete.
These things are going to come up during the case of the hearing, but the judge, and I think Prabha, if I'm not wrong, her name is Prabha, would also agree that the judges have the rights whether they want to talk about this or not. For example, I'll give you an example that when 377 was being heard, the case of marriage came about in that hearing. And the Supreme Court was very clear that we do not wish to discuss about marriage in the 377 case. We are strictly restricting ourselves to the fundamental rights of the Indian Constitution, which guarantees the rights which have been denied by Section 377, and that's all we want to talk about. We do not wish to talk about marriage. It was very clear.
So
Similarly, Prabha, let me complete. So similarly, in this case also, the judges who are hearing can say that we do not wish to talk about adoption. We do not wish to talk about inheritance. We do not wish to talk about even divorce for that matter. This is just hearing the rights to the petition filed by the gay couples, the lesbian couples, to legalize same-sex marriage. That's it. They can say we don't wish to talk about that. So I mean, it can happen that it will just end at deciding whether the court is giving us these rights or they're not giving the rights. If they don't give, then we have other options which we can do. But we are not going to stop at this. As I said, I am a fighter. I will fight my battle. Whether people are there or people are not there, I'm going to fight, because my battle is based on truth and honesty, and I will win come whatsoever.
So what I'm understanding is it's not about inheritance. It's not about adoption. It's about emotions. And my
No, it is not emotions. It is based strictly on the rights of individuals, rights to live a married life and not just live what has been guaranteed to us in the Section 377. Yeah, there are so many couples who are living just now, but what is their status? Today, as I mentioned, I'm married to an American man. What status does he have in India? He's just a tourist. He comes to India on a tourist visa. He has to leave the country every 180 days. What status does he have in India? He's not my friend. He's not my neighbor. He's not my tenant. He's not my business partner. He's just an American tourist visiting India. So do you see yourself in that position? If suppose you are in my place and you take my place, do you want your husband to come to India, which is American, just on a tourist visa and leave after every 180 days? Well, what is the sense of this marriage when I'm not able to enjoy my husband in India?
So can I answer this question?
Yes.
So the fact that you are married, a person who is not an Indian and who is a foreigner, is not regulated by the Indian law ipso facto. It is regulated by private international law, and which is subject to change from various legal segments. Your husband would be probably subject to American personal laws or Indian personal laws. If at all you want him to enjoy the similar right first, he will have to take the citizenship of India. Then only will this transition of 180 days would be there. As far as the codification and the legalization of persons who are not Indian national is concerned, we have a universal practice. There's not one country in the world where you have universal laws on this subject matter. And that is subjectly why referred under the conflict, this branch of law is referred under the conflict of law. So there's really nothing, you're right in terms of saying that there is a difficulty, but there is really no answer to this question. The only way you can come across this is to take a nationality, a permanent nationality in this country, and then lobby for your right. But you can't retain your nationality and then say that India needs to change her laws. There are,
I mean, if I give up my Indian nationality, I can become an American citizen, but I do not wish to do that. I do not wish to do that. That's my choice. I want to be Indian citizen. I want to be Indian national because I want to be in India. So there has to be in between solution for that. There are so many. It's not just my case. There are so many people I know who are married foreigners, and they have no rights in India. So what do we do about that? So anyway, I'm sorry, but I'll have to break this. I'm happy you raised this point, but since we are running out of time, I would love to connect with you and maybe possibly have communication with you, Prabha. I'm thankful to you for bringing about these points, but I'll have to wrap up because I'm already crossing my time limit.
Yeah, thank you very much for acknowledging my questions. My credentials are very much in the email ID. Please feel free to contact me via email.
Sure. Thank you very much.
I'll pass on your credentials. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Maninderji, for being so patient and facing such difficult questions. And
No,
thank
I'm used to it. This is, she was still very polite. I have heard people shouting at me. So I say I love my haters. So I love people when they are arguing with me. I love people when they criticize. So I love you. I love Prabha, and I love Trishant. So I don't have an issue with anyone.
Sir, on an ending note, I have a PhD in gender studies. This is the reason why I could put forward these a little complex questions.
Thank you, Prabha, and thank you to
Thank
each of the audience for being patient and being interested in a topic which many even come to watch. Thank you so much. Yes, with this, we
It's been an honor talking to you. Thank you so much for gracing us with your presence. I'd like to thank everyone who has attended the session today. If you've missed a part of the session, please go to YouTube and check out the whole video, the whole webinar. You'll find it in 3 parts in a few days. Also, please do not forget to follow Instagram, Vishwatalks accounts, subscribe to YouTube. Thank you so much. Sir, I request you to join the breakout room for a minute before we close. And I request all the audience members to join us for the next event. Thank you so much.